right now. Like,
You always fancy pizza, Evie.
Do you think that's a good thing to do though, after just coming out of the doctors and being told
yes.
that we're
No, I do,
morbidly
because
obese?
if we have a pig out, almost being like, this is the
Like
last
the Last
time.
Supper.
Exactly. Last time we're going to have something bad.
I think Evie's got her own way again, actually. In a way, I would have wanted to come home and just have something really healthy tonight, because I almost feel like I want to start like now. We like try to be good, and although she keeps saying, oh, it's your fault I'm fat, it's your fault that we're fat.
Or I don't think it is my fault. If you didn't want it, you would have said no. You would have said, okay, we'll have something else.
You'd give me a hard time, wouldn't you? Like you normally do. You get all
I wouldn't
stroppy.
give you a hard
You do.
time.
If you don't get your own way, you would have come in and like stropped upstairs like you normally do.
Thanks.
And then I'd give in, because I just don't want to upset you.
No, it's because you wouldn't want to cook, so you'd then say, oh, why don't we have pizza?
Well, from tomorrow, it's going to be day one of the rest of our lives. It's not going to be easy.
You're now listening to a Bobby Johnson beat.
Hey, my main bitch and my savage fatty bitch. I can get two for. Rather hold me up on each of pink. I need to go.
Tune in to Too Much Media.
Welcome back, my creative people. How are you guys doing today? I hope all is well. Welcome to the first day of April. We're really jumping into spring on a spring, okay? We have sprung, okay? So for all of you guys who are coming back or who are tuned in, who are usually tuned in, please make sure you guys are liking, commenting, just engage with the channel a little bit, just so that other people who are like-minded can find the channel and we can slowly build a community, you know? Okay, so to get into today's topic, something I have brought up on this channel in the past is something, a term I coined, fat mentality, okay? Fat mentality for us creatives is something that we want to avoid at all costs, just because it seeps into our work. As we know, anything we do, anything we, let be inside our spaces seeps into our work. So we have to really cultivate and slowly start to, build the type of environment we're trying to make when we want to be in our creative space. We have to make sure everything is perfect. And one thing that can stop our creativity from reaching its maximum potential is letting these mentalities that live out here in the world seep into our own brain. And one of the things that might be stopping you from pushing out at your maximum creative potential is having fat mentality. Fat mentality can make you sluggish. Fat mentality can make you, lazy, slow, a lot of negative things. Fat mentality can just also stop you from just doing things at the rate you can. Yeah, so guys, just give me 1 second. And one thing I want to clarify about that mentality before we get started, if you live in America, regardless of your weight and size, you probably have that mentality. So don't think that this is just a weight issue where it's like, yeah, I'm big, so I have that mentality. You could be thin and have that mentality, or like you could live abroad and have that mentality, but because the area you live in, you don't even have access to the level of poison that they try to give us here in America. You just never were able to like gain weight or anything, because if you think about it, how many people come from abroad, like who have never lived in America before, and then the minute they get to America, they gain a bunch of weight and they become really, really big, and they're never able to lose it again. They're never able to figure out how to get back to what they used to look like when they used to live abroad. At the end of the day, when you live somewhere else, the food is not poison every single time you put something in your mouth. Your lifestyle is probably way more like mobile than it is in America or like Western countries as a whole. So it's like you could be doing fat mentality things,
but because your lifestyle isn't conducive of being fat, you were always thin, and then you get to America and you never broke that mentality, and so therefore you gain weight here and you're never able to get rid of it because you have that mentality. It's not about um it's not about where you are. It's about what you think about where you are. You need to know what is that mentality as a creative too, so that you're safe wherever you go. It doesn't matter if you're in America. It doesn't matter if you're in Europe. It doesn't matter if you're in Australia, Asia, wherever you are. You can't be holding on to that mentality because then all it takes is for the people to give you the wrong thing or to try to convince you of the wrong type of lifestyle and you just fall right into it. Like, no, you need to make sure your mentality of understanding what that mentality is there so that no matter where you go, they can't fool you into it. Now, I thought about it and I was like, yeah, I just lightly mentioned that mentality and how I think that that is what is plaguing most people and not really food or movement or fitness or anything like that. But I wanted to get into like a case study where we can specifically look at someone with that mentality and how and why they got fat because they're, you know, literally have that mentality and they're living somewhere. And I thought a perfect example would be someone who's from Europe and is fat. Because as we know, being fat in America is not a flex. Like that's easy. You can be fat in America while while everyone here is trying to be skinny. Everyone's trying to be skinny, but no one's succeeding. But whereas in Europe, it's a bit harder to be fat. Like that's why it's more noticeable. It's more embarrassing. It's all these things because it's like, girl, how? So I just wanted to give an example of someone with that mentality who lives abroad, and because of their mentality, they're able to get fat somewhere where it shouldn't be that difficult to be fit. So I was on YouTube, as I usually am, and I came across this documentary. I'm a stickler for documentary. Like I love a good documentary. And this documentary is about teenage kids in the UK who are morbidly obese or severely obese, and they confront their parents and say, "You're the reason I'm fat." And, now they're trying to get into a 6-week program where they try to lose weight and show the effects of gaining weight and trying to lose weight. Now, episode 1 follows this girl. Her name's Evie. She's big because so what she claims is the reason is, which what I heard from what her reasons is that her parents have that mentality. They pass it on to her, and therefore now she has that mentality too, and she therefore gained a bunch of weight. So she just was complaining that basically her parents are always, you know, not really preparing the healthiest meals for dinner. On top of which, they always encourage getting sweets as a treat, going, here and there to get sugar, and just overall living a very sedentary lifestyle as well as a very processed food heavy lifestyle. Okay. So in the beginning, she confronts her parents and says, "Hey, I brought this documentary team to confront you guys because I'm really big and I feel as though it's your fault." And then they talk it out and they hug it out and cry and they talk about and they cry it out and say, from we're gonna make a change right now. Like we're gonna start this 6-week program with you. It's not gonna be just you alone trying to lose weight. We're gonna also lose weight. And from there we follow them in their weight loss journey. Now I'm not gonna go through the entire documentary, but I will leave a link of the documentary listed below. So if you want to watch the whole thing, it was fairly good. It was good. It was like a normal weight documentary. If you watched one, you watched them all. But I'm gonna go through all the things that she did and the things that were showing her fat mentality. Obviously, they started reversing some of those things, and I will eventually get into like fit mentality or you know thin mentality and all these other mentalities. But honestly, the one that's the biggest danger for us as creatives because of the horrible negative health effects is fat mentality. So I just want to focus on that for now. So the daughter's 300 pounds, the mom's 293, and the dad is 276. And I do notice that about like overweight families. Usually the kids becomes the biggest, The mom is right after them, and the dad is usually, falling behind everyone else. And the thing is, one thing that is huge fat mentality red flag that the mom has is zero accountability. Not being able to say that, it is your fault that you're big slash, as the mom of the family, your fault that everyone else in the family is big is huge fat mentality. You you not taking accountability for your food choices is gonna lead you to becoming fat. So that's fat mentality. Like if you can't take accountability of what your food choices are, you're either on your way to being fat or you're already there. So that was just a huge no-no for me. And as a mom, it's like, let's be realistic here. Who cooks? Who is everyone looking to as to like, what are we doing as far as food? When there's a dinner choice made, who has the final veto and is able to be like, nope, we're not doing that? That's like very mom-like tendencies. And when you meet the dad on the show too, you see he's like really laid back, chill, like he's real go with the flow. Like he's really on whatever the mom is on. Like most like men and dads, that's how they are. Like they're literally just waiting for you to tell them what time they're supposed to eat. They're not really going to be like making all these nitpicky choices of slice my onion in this type of shape. Make sure that, those are more womanly features to decide of like, I like when the salad looks like this. When we do protein, I mostly cook chicken drums versus chicken thighs. Like all those tiny little decisions, that is a very motherly decision. The dad is not going to be sitting there discussing, are we having thighs versus drums versus wings? Like as soon as you put chicken in front of him, he just sees chicken. He's just going to eat it. Like, come on now. Like, her really trying to gaslight everyone into not being the reason why everyone in the family was fat was ridiculous. Because their daughter's 16. So that means up until 16, like, come on now. Like, now she's at an age where it's like, yeah, girl, we're not listening to you saying that, the reason that you're fat is because your parents within the next couple of years. If by the time you're 20, you're still fat, that's on you. But from 1 to 16, like 1 year old to 16, all this time you were responsible for her food and she's big, that's on you. And whatever she thinks about food, she got it from you. The idea of what food is and how and when she should eat it, she got it from you, and you're big. So how are you not taking accountability for her being big? Like, that was crazy. That's number one fat mentality. If you see that in someone, they got fat mentality. Another thing, obviously, because it's a weight loss show, the first thing they started off with was weighing themselves. So they brought the scale out, they go to the living room, and they start to weigh themselves. Once the scale was out, when I'm telling you, you could see the stress in the room of like, oh no, like, what am I about to weigh? What am I about to weigh? Yeah, being worried about how much you weigh, that's fat mentality. Now, I'm not saying that once you see a dangerously high number on the scale, you shouldn't be like, changing things immediately or keeping track or whatever. Like, that's not the part that makes it fat mentality. It's like the fear and like weight that you attach to your weight, that is fat mentality. Like, thinking that your weight is such a big deal is very fat mentality, because anyone who's worried about their overall health is not solely worried about their weight. Weight is just a data point, okay? Being like, I weigh 140, 150, 200, 300, whatever it is you weigh, is just data, because that's not going to tell you everything you need to know if you're overall just worried about your health. You're also worried about, oh, what's my muscle mass? How much of these nutrients intake am I getting? Am I fit? Am I active? If I'm moving around? Measurement-wise, too, like what size I am in clothing. Like, all of these things are all a part of your health. So the scale shouldn't be something you're scared of. Fear attached to the scale is fat mentality. You will know that you're free from fat mentality when, as soon as it's time to weigh yourself, you're never scared. You're just like, okay, what do I weigh? Do you see what I'm trying to say? Like, me personally, I'm not scared to weigh myself, but I purposely sometimes don't want to look at the scale, not because I'm scared of what I weigh, because I don't want to be skewed of what my current health and fitness plan is based off what I see on a scale. Because I know that it fluctuates so much week by week, because some weeks you're busier than others, some weeks you're more active than others. You know, there's certain stuff where your weight might fluctuate by a couple pounds, but it's not giving you an overall story. So me personally, I probably weigh myself every maybe 6 months, but within the 6 months before and the 6 months after, based on what my health goals were for those 6 months, it should tell me the story of what I've been up to. So let's say my goal during these last 6 months has been maintaining weight. Like, I'm not trying to lose weight. I'm not trying to gain weight. I don't really care right now what I weigh. My weight in the next 6 months when I weigh myself should be within 1 to 5 pounds. If it's different, more than 1 to 5 pounds, something is either wrong or like, you know, like I've been excessive somewhere. Something's going on, you know, and that can help me track of like, oh, okay, data, I see that. Whatever I've been up to right now, either it's working or not working. But let's say I'm trying to lose weight. If I wait a whole 6 months, like there should be a significant amount of weight loss that I see on the scale. But throughout that time, just because I haven't weighed myself on the scale doesn't mean I haven't been using other means to keep track of my goals. It's like I'm probably measuring myself then. I'm probably, you know, tracking in the gym. Has this exercise that I've been doing, the same exercise this whole 6 months, has it been getting slowly easier for me because I'm getting more and more fit and better at this exercise? Like, there's so many signs you can see if you're hitting your health goals that have nothing to do with the scale, that there shouldn't really be fear attached to a scale. Like, guys, come on now. Another thing. Next, they went to the doctor to get an overall understanding of their health as a whole. When I'm telling you the fear they had in the waiting room of the doctor's office, they're all fiddling with their thumbs. They're like, you know, just like, oh my God, what is the doctor about to say? Like, we're clearly all so big, like they're gonna say we're unhealthy. And it's like fear at the doctor, it's like in line, it's the same line with this whole scale thing. You should not be scared of what your doctor is about to tell you. That's fat mentality. Like, you need to be going to the doctor regularly. Whatever the doctor tells you should be just extra data for you to collect of whether or not you are living a healthy lifestyle and what you need to change to increase the amount of health you have. Like, come on now. Like, being scared in the doctor's waiting room is very fat mentality. You should be thrilled and excited when you get to the doctor because you get to hear from a professional about either how well you're doing or what tweaks you can make to do even better. This is just a helpful tool. That's why we let doctors study health all day long, so that by the time we get to them, they can just give us extra information. This is not supposed to be a fight or flight response. You should be in danger when you have a fight or flight response, not sitting in a doctor's waiting room. That mentality. And next thing, right after they leave the doctors, they're like, okay, now the 6-week program starts. We're going to start our diet tomorrow because the doctor gave them their diet. The doctor gave them what they should be doing fitness-wise. And obviously he told them, yeah, you guys are huge. Like, something needs to change. And so they were supposed to start a diet the next day. While they're on the drive home, obviously, I guess they didn't eat dinner because they were at the doctor's. They're like, the daughter's like, oh my God, I kind of want pizza right now. And they're all like, no, we're not supposed to be eating pizza. And then she's like, I mean, wait, guys, like, I know we're not supposed to have pizza, but I feel like it's kind of a good idea for us to have pizza tonight. That way we can just say we ate pizza for one last time before the diet starts tomorrow, and then we start tomorrow on a good note, knowing we had our last craving, we got it out of the way, and now we start our diet. Fat mentality. No. There's no such thing as a Last Supper. That is for what's it called? Isn't that like a Christian thing where they have the Last Supper or something? Like, are you Jesus? There's clearly a Judas at your table. Why are you having Last Supper? Like, that's crazy. That's really fat mentality. There's no last suppers. That doesn't exist in a regular brain. Like, you're not, like, sitting around thinking to yourself, oh, my God, I need to eat this one more time before I never eat it again. Once you decide you're making a health change or something's going on, you're doing it right then. You're not doing a last meal. Last meals are fat mentality. Like, you're not on death row. Nothing's happening to you. Like, it's not like we're telling you to. You're going on a diet. Like, it's not like we're saying you're never going to eat pizza again. Why do you need to have a last pizza? You know what pizza tastes like. We know you've eaten pizza. Leave the pizza alone. Like, what? That is a very high level that you know you are far into fat mentality if you're thinking about last meals before you start diets. You know, it's like when there's diet as a whole, going on a diet is fat mentality too. If you are out of fat mentality, you know that however you eat is your lifestyle. Whatever your so-called diet is your lifestyle. That's just how you live. This is just what you eat. This is just stuff that you don't eat. Like to you, someone putting certain foods in front of you sounds insane. You just don't eat that. Like, it just is like, no. There's no like, oh, I'm going to eat this little one thing one time. Either it's a food you eat or it's a food you don't eat. There's no like last time eating stuff. Like, either I can eat this food anytime I want to, or I just don't ever eat this food. There's no like, one last time for the one time. That's fat mentality. So if you're doing that, you got fat mentality. Another fat mentality thing I noticed them doing. To continue on to the pizza point, after she told them, let's just have pizza one last time, of course they went home, they ate the pizza, and then they're all sitting in the living room, and then the mom just suddenly goes like, low-key, I kind of feel bad that we ate this pizza. Like, why did we, like, I would have felt better if we had come home after the doctor, heard all the stuff that he had to say, and then got and then eaten a healthy meal, and just, like, really felt like I had learned something from the doctor and started off the diet tomorrow on a good note, knowing that I'm already on the right track. And then she gets to blaming the daughter. I'm like, what type of craziness is this? Now, I know you might think the fat mentality is her, like, regretting her food choices, because, yes, that is fat mentality. Regretting things you ate is fat mentality, because that's a big part of, like, fat mentality is that you hold on to a lot of shame, which makes you continue to do the same bad habits again and again. Because you're shameful that you ate something that in your head you're not supposed to eat. Like, this is a supposed to eat food. Like, this food is taboo. Like, making food taboo is fat mentality. There's no such thing as taboo food. You can eat anything. But the problem is, for example, if you looked at them eating that pizza, they all got their own pizza. That's fat mentality too. Like, when you know you want something that is like ultra processed, or, you know, like something that is quite unhealthy, and you get an excessive amount of it and then feel shameful for it after, that's fat mentality. A normal mentality would be going to get the pizza, and it's like, cool, we're going to eat pizza, but we're just going to eat one or two slices each. Why did you guys each need your own personal pizza? That was really fat mentality. Like, having your own whole pizza, just greedy. And and then her trying to blame the daughter, blaming other people for your food choices, that's fat mentality. You are responsible for all the food that goes into your own mouth. No one puts it in your mouth. Talking about I wish you hadn't said that, and like convinced us that this is our one last meal before we whatever. You're her mom. You guys are the ones. She wasn't even driving. She's 16. They were driving the car. They paid for the food. They did everything. So for her to like kind of switch it up on the daughter was really crazy. And I like how the daughter chewed her up right after that. She was like, "No, girl, that's not on me. If you didn't want the pizza, you wouldn't have used me as an excuse as to why you get to have pizza." And I think that was the biggest part of fat mentality that they passed on to the daughter, and that they got that they had pre-having the daughter and were now using kids as an excuse. A lot of parents with fat mentality will use their kids as an excuse as to why they have to eat food that is ultimately going to lead them down a bad road. It'll be like, oh yeah, I know pizza's not good for me, but they're just kids. Like, they need to get pizza every once in a while, so that ends up making me eat pizza. Like, no, that's fat mentality. You wanted to have pizza, and you're happy that now you have kids. Like, before, you would have held yourself to a standard. You would have been like, oh, pizza's bad for me, and if I eat pizza, like, that's on me that I ate pizza. But you always wanted pizza, but you used to hold yourself accountable and not eat pizza. But now that you have kids, you still want pizza, so now you use the kids as like, oh, they're just kids, they can have pizza, so I'm just going to order pizza for the kids, and then now you're eating pizza too. Was that for the kids, or are you utilizing the kids as a reason to why you're eating food that in your head and heart, no, you don't need? Like, you don't need that. It's not even about whether or not, like, can you have pizza or can't you have pizza. Do you need pizza? You didn't need pizza. You wanted pizza. It's like, come on now. Like, a lot of parents do that. It's not the kid's fault you're fat. You're the fault that the kids are fat. It's vice versa. It's not the kid's fault that you're getting fat. It's your fault that the kids are getting fat. So that was a big fat mentality thing that the parents had, whereas, like, they would utilize the kids as a reason why they have to have food, like certain foods or things like that. It's your accountability about what you eat and when you eat it. Another fat mentality thing that they had, like that I already brought up, was the whole portions things. Like, having to eat an excessive amount of any type of food is fat mentality. Like, having, like, okay, let's say you needed the pizza. Like, you're like, I really, really need to have this pizza tonight. Having the entire pizza crazy. Another thing they had been discussing is, like, even when they eat fruit, they'll eat an entire tin of fruit each. It's like, why do you need the entire can? Like, okay, cool, you have the fruit. Y'all split the can of fruit. Like, they were even talking about it. They were like, even a can of fruit, we'll eat the entire can of fruit. And every night, they would have, like, these big, extravagant desserts. Needing sugar after every meal is fat mentality. You don't need to have sugar after your meal. You want to have sugar, not like taking accountability of, like, I just want to have sugar, not I need a little sweet after it. That's fat mentality. You didn't need it. You want it. You need to know the differentiations of wanting versus needing food. This is fat mentality, like claiming that you need food all the time. Like, you don't need it. You want it. And not to say that wanting it is a bad thing. Like negative correlations with food is fat mentality too. Wanting it is fine. Just go have it. But you need to also admit in your head, oh, I'm not eating this right now because I need it. Like, what I need is this amount of protein, this amount of carbs, this amount of, veggies, this amount of this amount of fiber. But right now, I want some sweets, so I'm going to have some. Now, I'm not going to eat the whole damn container of ice cream and 3 sugar cookies and this, that, and the third, but I want sweets right now, so I'm going to have it. It's like, it's not that big of a deal. And I don't want to drag this on forever because there was an episode 2 where another family who had, like, severe fat mentality, and I'm also going to go over that one. But one last thing I noticed that this family had that was fat mentality was being scared of the gym. Scared of the gym. Now, the reason she was scared of the gym and she was like, oh, this is why she never works out, is because she just said she feels awkward in the gym. And she just feels like everyone's looking at her because she's really big and, like, she's just in there looking big and at the gym. And you would think I'll say this is fat mentality because you're scared of the gym and therefore you're not working out. And you need to be okay with the gym and not care what other people think about you and just go to the gym. No, that is not why that is fat mentality. It's fine. People have anxiety about all different types of stuff. Like, if right now you told me to join a bunch of, like, track runners on the track, like, I would be scared to go to the track and, have them all outrun me too. Like, I wouldn't be scared to go to the gym, but I'd be a little bit like a pressure hitting the track. So that's not why it's fat mentality. Fat mentality is being scared of the gym and then feeling like because you're scared of the gym, there's just no option for you as far as fitness. Like, when she was scared of the gym, I felt like in that moment, that was time to teach her, not to teach her that, oh, okay, we're going to get over your fear of the gym. No, you're scared of the gym? That's okay. You can be scared of the gym. Let's find another way for you to get active that's not the gym so that you aren't looking for an excuse every single time there isn't a gym available. Fat mentality is assuming that the only way to get active is to go to the gym. There's so many other ways to get active. Like me, I just said, if I had to go to a track and be around a bunch of track runners right now, I would feel anxious and scared. Like, okay, what else could I do other than I could go on a walk, go on a hike. I could what else could I do? Go on a bike ride. I could, do a couple crunches in my living room. The amount of YouTube videos there are, who don't know Chloe Ting by now? She's a worldwide phenomenon. If you don't go and put on a Chloe Ting video and call it a day, especially at their weight size, they're all pushing, almost touching 300 pounds. All you have to, you are going from zero movement to movement. So any small movement you start making right now is enough to get you to a better place than you are currently. Trying to move too quickly in your weight loss of now you got to jump into the mentality of someone who goes to the gym every day is fat mentality. Trying to make severe changes in your weight is fat mentality, because anyone who understands how weight works understands that it doesn't move quickly. It just happens how it happens. Your body decides when it wants to lose weight. You just need to make changes and slowly track how your body is reacting to it. Trying to make sudden and severe changes is fat mentality. And that's something that as a creative could severely make your work suffer. Because at the end of the day, creative pursuits work similarly of understanding that, hey, I'm not going to be Picasso today. If I decide to start painting today, my painting progress is going to be slow. The first year, I might paint to a level of a toddler. But second year, then I'll start painting the level intermediate. Then I'll start getting a little bit better. And slowly, maybe within 10 to 20, 30, 40 years, just like Picasso spent his whole life painting, I can get to Picasso levels. But I'm not going to just wake up today and decide that because I started painting, I'm going to be Picasso. That's fat mentality of thinking because I went to the gym today, boom, I'm going to be, Chloe Ting size. No, Booski. You got to take it at a pace. You got to slowly let your creative pursuits build. And same thing with your health. You got to let that build slowly. You got to become the person. You got to do that. You got to let time pass a little bit. That was real fat mentality for her to force the gym. They did go on walks and do other stuff afterwards and stuff. Like I said, I'm not going to go into the good things that they ended up switching over to. I know it sounds like I'm just bashing them the entire video, but it's because I'm only focusing in on the things that got them to where they were. The fat mentality things that they were up to that seep into every part of your life, where you think things are just 0 or 100. That's not how life works. You got to be, percentages. Come on now. Let's be realistic. So yeah, that was a severe fat mentality thing that they were doing of being scared of the gym and then forcing going to the gym. I felt like at that moment she could have just been okay, we're just gonna go on daily walks for now. Once you feel a little bit more comfortable and more confident, you might want to go to the gym. Or once you and also the thing is, that's why a lot of people end up wasting so much money on the gym, is because they want to jump into becoming this person who goes to the gym, and then they go for a couple weeks or a couple months or whatever long time period that they go, and then they quit, and then they stop being active once they're out of the gym. They're like, oh, I don't have time to go to the gym, so I guess I got to watch TV for the rest of the night. Are you crazy right now? Okay, you didn't go to the gym, but do something. Anything, something. Okay, maybe you didn't have time to sit down and, create an entire, I'm going to use a designer at this point, to make a whole pair of pants today. Okay, you didn't have time to make a whole pair of pants today, but you could, cut out the fabric for the pants and tomorrow do the next part of the pants. Or you could, pick out the fabric today and then tomorrow you could start cutting it. You know what I'm trying to say? Just because you can't do your entire creative pursuit today doesn't mean you can't do a part of it today. Me, for example, just because I didn't post today just because I didn't have time to post today on YouTube doesn't mean I can't record today and then tomorrow edit it and then I can do things one piece at a time and slowly get to the point where everything is completed. Everything doesn't have to be done in one day, in one moment, in one way. You can slowly build things together. It doesn't have to all be all or nothing. I think having an all or nothing mentality is very fat mentality. But yeah, that was just family. This was episode 1 of the documentary. As I said, I'll leave it linked below, but this was Evie and their journey, and I just feel as though the parents had fat mentality, they passed it on to the daughter, she began doing fat mentality things, and then everyone was fat together. So it's just like, if you want to avoid fat mentality, it will not only help you with your weight and being more fit and just overall leading a healthier lifestyle, but it will help you with your creative pursuits of understanding that life is not all or nothing, and your creative journey is not all or nothing either. You're not going to get to, being Kendrick Lamar today. You're not going to get to being Jimi Hendrix tomorrow. You're not going to be, Law Roach, next week. You're going to have to build to those points. You're not going to be Zendaya next month. You have to build to these things, and knowing that fat mentality people are very lazy, slow, and unrealistic, and just kind of live in a state of constant delusion. Understanding some of those delusional traits might be able to help you. I feel as though this might push people forward. But yeah, look out for the next video. Like I said, please like, comment, do all those YouTube things so we can kind of, discuss things. If you know any other fat mentality things that I didn't mention that you want me to bring up, please tell me about them. Or if you disagree with some of the stuff that I said were fat mentalities that you don't feel like is fat mentality, tell me why. I don't know. I mean, these are just things I observe and how I feel about fat mentality, and I made it up, honestly. So it's it's not set in stone. Webster, you're not going to find this on Webster. You have to be in the deep roots of YouTube to find this. So, yeah.
Trying to silence me, yeah. Anxiety, shake it off of me. Somebody's watching